at any given point in time in our lives, we're either selling or being sold. And I think sales is completely misunderstood. Do you agree with that?
Agree. I think, would you agree that the moment we say sales, 90% of the people switch off?
Yeah.
Because they think, I'm not a salesperson, but they have their own companies, they sell their services. Even parents have to sell going out to the kids.
Yeah.
So we're always selling. But unfortunately, the moment you say sale, people think you're like a second-hand car salesperson. Talk. But things have changed. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Sales comes across as something very pushy. And to my knowledge, a lot of salespeople hate the title of a salesperson.
Yes.
They are either, calling themselves business development, consultant,
territory
advisor.
management.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are many titles around, and
what do your salespeople have on their business?
They have BD, business development, or consultants.
I would put down sales.
Yeah.
I say be proud of the word sales. So I take away business development. I take everything. I just put down sales. Because what happens is, from my experience as a salesperson, the moment we BD, territory manager, whatever, account manager, they can't close. That card reminds them and the prospect that they're there to do a sale. So I'll put down sales. If you're embarrassed of it, wrong company.
Why are people embarrassed? Again, is it the mindset?
Most people are nice people. I think what you said was right, that they think they're shoving something down somebody's throat and they don't want to. And it's the furthest from it. I know your company, and I know you're all about education, finding out the pain factor of someone and offering them a solution. That's 2025 sales. But unfortunately, most people just want to sell a product or service.
Yeah.
They ask on average 2 or 3 questions. I promise you, no matter where I go, come with me, wherever we go, the most number of questions people ask is 2 or 3.
And that's extremely bad, actually. It's not even understanding the client properly, I guess.
No, and they wonder why they can't close deals.
Yeah.
Because their preparation and relationship building was wrong. All they want to do, their product or service, like a hot potato, they're dying to share it. Yeah, so I got into sales because people told me in the 80s that I was a good talker, so I make a good salesman. If somebody said that to me now, I'll be insulted. Because I want to be a great listener, not a great talker.
Not about talking, it's about listening. And
It's
no
about
wonder.
being- sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I've seen a lot of people who are not great at speaking or communication skills,
Great.
but they do a lot better in sales
Yes.
than many other
Yes.
great speakers
Yes.
who are fluent in language.
Yes, because you have to have one enthusiasm about what you're doing. You have to have childlike enthusiasm when you talk to someone. So you have to really be intrigued and interested in their business. Intrigued in business, why they come to Dubai, why are they starting their own, why do they want to will, and ask minimum 15 questions before they even go into the pitch.
That's interesting. What kind of questions do you normally teach people? Open-ended. And what
To
are
opens up a
open-ended
conversation.
questions?
Tell me what brought you here. What do you think of Dubai? Yes, what are your goals? How many other people are you speaking with, and why? What are your fears? Yes, so get a conversation going. What was your vision when you started this business? Yes, and tell me all about your successes, your failures, your lessons. So open up a conversation, but don't start up with a stupid compliment. Like, oh, nice jacket, or did you go on holiday, or how are you? These are all false questions, because if you've never met someone, you don't care about how they are. And also, if I'm going to sell to you, the last thing I want to do is, how are you? Because the conversation could go west. You could have had a bad day, and suddenly I'm listening to you complain about your wife leaving you. I'll just say, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here to solve potentially any headaches you have. So do you mind sharing with me lots of things when I ask you to find out what your pain is?
So I guess the open-ended questions are aimed at knowing the need of the person, but
Yes.
then also to build the rapport,
Yes,
right? To understand the
but it
person,
have to be real.
right?
People know if you're real or not. They can see it. They can see you just a salesperson, or you really give them a solution. They know it now. Buyers are smarter than ever before. So they know if you're real or not.
It's all about psychology at the end of the day.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yes. All 85% mindset, 10% habits,
Yeah.
5% skill.
And they, classify human brain into 2 categories: left brain, right brain. Left brain is usually number driven.
Yes.
Right brain is usually,
Yes.
emotionally driven.
Yes.
And how do we distinguish the two?
Yes. Well, I don't
asking
do any of
questions.
that. I don't do any of that.
You don't do.
I simplify things.
Okay.
I think when you and I meet and you selling me something, I'm selling you something, I have fears stopping me from buying from you. I'm not going to share your fears. I'm not going to share my fears because I don't know you. So I can't sit down and say, Tariq, thank you for coming to my office, but I'm really scared that you might oversell me something. I'm really scared that you might take my money and run. I'm really scared that I might, you take my money and your customer service is awful. I'm really scared that I'm going to give you my go-ahead and my wife's going to ask me, what the hell did you do? And I feel embarrassed. I'm really scared that I've done this before, made a quick decision and I regretted it. So instead of selling the dream, I would like you as my salesperson to sell me how to overcome the fears that I'm not sharing with you. So if you can overcome my fears through your presentation, I'm like, I like Tariq. For whatever reason, he kind of knows my fears, right? And because you have an understanding of my fears I haven't shared with you yet, I automatically like you.
So that is absolutely correct. And a lot of people say, and it's a common saying as well, that people buy things from people who they like.
They trust and are like themselves.
Correct.
So a salesperson is going to be like a chameleon. If somebody is enthusiastic, they're going to be enthusiastic. If they're slow, you talk slow. You have to mirror match all the time. And never, ever, ever sell on the first meeting. Always build a relationship. Always build a relationship. And that's come through being really interested in them. If you find yourself talking too much, it's the wrong meeting.
Wouldn't it depend upon the nature of the product or service that you're selling? In some cases, you'd end up having multiple meetings or phone conversations.
Yes.
In other cases, you'd probably nail the sale in the first communication.
I would personally never sell on the first appointment because sometimes you can close the deal and you haven't answered all the questions of the prospect. So you get the check and then afterwards they ask you 1,000 questions because they have buyer's remorse. So what I do is I do real fact finding to make sure on my presentation, on my close, I'll overcome every single fear that I don't have after sales issues.
Right.
Because sometimes you can sign a deal too quickly.
Right.
And then the customer has buyer's remorse and they regret things and they backtrack. And you think, I wish I never had that client because it becomes such a nightmare.
Yeah. So let's try and simplify this for our viewers. In terms of the products and services, I personally classify certain services or products which can actually be sold in the first conversation. They're very small ticket items. The value could be small, maybe 100 dirhams or maybe 1,000 dirhams or a couple of thousand dirhams. But higher value items could require better understanding of the customer's needs, and then
Well, from my understanding of your business, you're selling high ticket. So if it was a mobile phone and you just want a mobile phone and Apple has done all the marketing, on the phone, I'll send you a link, pay, done. Hotel booking, I'll send you a link, pay, done. Flight, I'll send you a link, pay, done. But with you, whether it's a will, it's a legal service, what you want to do is you want to bring them back.
Yeah.
So you want to do further business with them. So I suggest take your time. But I'm talking about two-tier sales.
Yeah.
Because once you get into sell them a legal service or a business setup, there are other areas that you can upsell to. And that comes through thorough fact-finding.
That makes a lot of sense. And then you understand the need of the client.
You hold their hand and take them through the process.
Exactly. A much deeper level. And what about the close-ended questions? I mean, would you like to ask a few questions to actually establish the budget, for example, or other aspects?
The thing is, you have a budget is a close-ended question. What I would say is that, what's your budget and how do you come up with that? You see, so somebody will say, well, as cheap as possible. Okay, and most salespeople are not rich. So the moment they leave your office, or anybody's office, they're thinking all the client cares about is the best deal. So the moment the client says as cheap as possible, they go, I knew it's all about price. They come back to the manager and say he wants a discount. What I teach people is that price is probably the seventh thing. What they want to do is to overcome their fears that they're not sharing with you. So price is something they say, it's a smokescreen. They say it just to derail you. And most weak salespeople jump and start justifying the price.
And that's where the communication goes wrong.
Yes, then they become the 80s
Justifications
sales
come in.
justification.
Yes.
I never ever justify. I always ask questions. And the one in a meeting who asks the question is the one who's in power.
If you're enjoying this conversation, do hit that subscribe button. It's my promise to you that every episode on this show is going to make you think bigger, grow faster, and help you achieve 10x results.